Hey everyone, welcome back to Fun in the Locker Room, September 12th, 2023. We got a lot to talk about today. Today is our NFL Week 1 recap. The NFL season officially underway, and I think that first week deserves a lot of talk. We got to talk about the Giants. We got to talk about the Chiefs. We got to talk about the Bills, the Jets. We got a lot to talk about today. We're going to go through the entire week 1. We're going to give our overreactions. We're going to give our game recaps. We're going to go through underperformers, overperformers, and then, of course, we'll settle in with our Thursday night football predictions. And I just want to say, and I'm sure you guys agree, it feels good to be back doing a nice little football recap. It's been a minute, so I feel like we're back in our Duffy. So let's just get started. Whichever one of you guys wants to get started with our reactions, takeaways from an entire slate of football. What do we got?
Yeah, I want to jump in first. Let's talk about the Thursday night game, boys. So Lions versus Chiefs, and I just have three words for you, Sean Rankle. You gotta believe the Motor City Miracle. Shout out to the Detroit Lions going into the reigning champ and just blowing the doors off them. Really came in there. Nobody thought they had a chance, and they shocked the world. They're a real team. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that the Chiefs were completely healthy because they weren't, but that's no excuse. You can't be losing the first game of the season to the Detroit Lions. Yeah, that's all I have to say. I called it, by the way. Called it. 2-0. 2-0 on the spreadsheet.
A couple questions to you. Will you consider blowing the doors off a team winning by 1 point? First of all, I don't think that's really blowing the doors off a team. And two, I think each and every one of us, including Truitt when he had his broken thumb, could have caught that ball Kadarius Toney dropped that resulted in the interception. That was one of the worst plays of all time. He's a fucking bum. The fact that he would shit talk Giants fans all off season about this shit, and then comes on here and does that, ridiculous. The Chiefs skill position players are one of the worst in the league right now without Travis Kelce back. This is as Mike Tirico said, a huge asterisk on this game. And congrats to the Lions, but blow the doors off them? Come on now.
It was just a pathetic performance. So, yeah, I'd say that the doors were blown off.
Yeah, I'll jump in. This was tough to watch. I still feel like even though the Mahomes Chiefs are turning into a dynasty, I still think they have a good amount of likability to them, and it's tough to see, Patrick Mahomes making great passes and Kadarius Toney just dropping them, and it sucks because I like Kadarius Toney. I honestly had no problem with him, but now he might be leaving my fantasy roster after this game. But yeah, this is even taking away Kadarius Toney. This is pretty concerning. I think on a multitude of levels. You look at you turn around and no one's really giving the Lions their flowers. Goff had a great game. The Detroit Lions running backs, amassed over 100 yards. Like, this is a bit concerning. And I know we'll eventually, maybe we should talk about this soon, actually, the fact that Chris Jones, his holdout is over, which is probably going to be really good for the Chiefs because their defense really just didn't come to play. So, the offensive side of the ball with just the lack of receivers and Pacheco not having any production is bad. The defensive side is bad. It really is a one-man show with Mahomes, and it's pretty concerning. I know we say that all the time. We've overreacted in the past to the Chiefs not coming out of the gates hot, but dare I say it again, this is concerning.
I'm not too concerned. It's one game. Travis Kelce will be back. It's not a major injury. They'll be back and rolling. The Lions are a good team. I'll give Liam credit for that. The Lions are a good team this year. I think they've been overhyped. I think this doesn't really prove anything for them, but I do think they're a really good team. I think the Chiefs will be fine.
I'm really worried for the Chiefs. If they have Kelce, they don't have anybody else. Literally, they do not have a single other person that can catch the ball. Sky Moore was really hyped up for some reason. He looked terrible. We already talked about Kadarius Toney. I don't need to put that out there. But then you just have these no-namers that are having to make the catches. On Patrick Mahomes' first 7 receptions or pass completions, they were all to different receivers. That's really concerning for me. When Travis Kelce inevitably gets double teamed, Chiefs aren't going to score points. The running backs stink, and their old line did not look very good. I'm really worried for this team. Really worried for this team.
Well, and let's also talk about how the Lions were like, I don't know if they were 32nd, but they were damn near close to being last in the league in defense last year. And a good bulk of that defense has returned, and you can give credit to Dan Campbell and everything. But this is concerning that, I mean, they got 90 yards of rushing, and if you take away Patrick Mahomes' 45 yards, that's 45 yards of rushing against this Lions defense. You throw Travis Kelce in there all you want. That's not going to set up a run game.
I'm kind of curious for you too. We've been down this road before. What week should I schedule your Andy Reid Patrick Mahomes apology video?
Because all I'm saying is,
have we not learned to give them enough credit that they're going to figure this out? They're two of the best coach quarterback duos of all time, and there are a lot of problems with this team. There's no sugarcoating that, but they're like the past at this point. Until they do something otherwise, I feel it's hard to doubt them.
I think this year, Mahomes coming off a little bit of an ankle injury, and Kelce he's the first time he was injured since his rookie season. I think, it's a pretty big concern right now. I'm not going to write them off, Rank. I'm not going to totally throw them away. 0-1.
No, predict their record for the season if you're concerned.
I think they'll I think they'll turn it around, but things got to change.
Like, are we talking 10-7? Are we talking get them more than 10 wins? What are we talking?
They're still going to fight for that division title. Don't get me wrong, but they got to start, they got to look at making changes already. They need guys that can catch the ball outside of Travis Kelce.
It is a concern, and they got to fix that, but I don't know. It's hard to doubt them.
I'm not going to write them off, Rick.
I won't write them off either, but we got to be a little concerned about their defense. You're talking about quarterback and coaching duo, but I mean, what about this defense with the Lions running all over them? They bring in two new running backs who, in my opinion, I think Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery are a worse combination than Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift were last year. That's just my opinion. And even if you want to say they're about the same, they still got 120 yards on what's supposed to be a Super Bowl caliber team. And I don't know. I know the Chiefs defense hasn't been their strong suit, and I know Chris Jones was out, and that's a big deal, but I don't know. It's not an offensive explosion per se, but it's a little bit too much concerning. You give this up to the Lions, but then when you play the Eagles, what are you going to give up to them? Or if you play, the Ravens or the Bengals, which those are two teams that didn't really have a good week one, but let's just say, they perform as expected. What are you going to give up to them if you're giving up this to the Lions?
Yeah, but the Lions had one of the best offenses last year towards the end of the season. And to be fair, they held the Lions offense to 14 points because one was a kick return, interception return touchdown. So I think, the defense didn't look too bad. But yeah, the 120 yards isn't great, but the Lions have a good defense, good offense in general.
I think we should collectively agree not to overreact. It's concerning. It's concerning. Yes. We all know at the end of the season they'll be fine, but it is concerning right now. And it's week one.
And, I think if the Chiefs come out and win this game, a couple Kadarius Toney drops, like erased, like I know we're saying it was more than just that, but if they did win this game, we would be just inherently looking at it differently.
Would you guys like to know a fun Kadarius Toney stat?
Oh, yeah, Rank. Let's hear it.
Okay.
Oh, I would love to.
Since 2020, when he came in the league, he leads the league in the highest drop percentage.
Ooh.
In the top 5 are Kadarius Toney, number 1. Number 2 is Sterling Shepard. And number 4 is Darius Slayton. Daniel Jones has had 3 of the top 5 players
former Giants.
Yes, all Giants.
Yeah, I guess their quarterback's got to give them better balls.
Not his fault.
No, that is. I mean, that's an important stat. I do want to share before we move on to a different game or I guess the different take. Chris Jones' new 1-year deal. So it's for anyone that's not aware, it's 19.5 million minus the game check that he lost from week 1, which is about $1 million, and then there's incentives that could take it up to 25 million depending on how many sacks he gets. I think the first threshold is 10, and then if he gets up to 15 sacks, that turns into 1.75 million in incentives. So I know I've kind of been the one that's been harping on the defense, but how big do you think this will be for the Chiefs compared to if he had waited out until week 7, like he said he was going to?
So true. Is he now the highest paid, or does that belong to somebody else still?
Nick Bosa is definitely the highest paid. Nick Bosa got a bag
that's right.
last week.
Yeah, Fred VanVleet money.
That's crazy. I think it's huge. He's definitely a big proponent of that pass rush, and I think he adds something they were definitely missing last game, as we've talked about. So it is a big win for the Chiefs. But to be honest, I think the Chiefs are having problems in the past couple of years. If you think about it, the guys that they've let go, like for giving big money, like Tyreek Hill last year, and now Chandler Jones problems. I'm wondering if and they keep these guys around. I don't know. I don't know if he's here long term. It might just be a 1-year thing, and we have the same problem next year.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Sean. I think the Chiefs are looking back and kicking themselves that they didn't really go out and spend the big bucks on some of these big names. You put money into Patrick Mahomes, you need to surround him with other guys besides Travis Kelce. Give Chris Jones his bag. They should have paid. If they paid Tyreek, man, we could be looking at 4 or 5 straight Super Bowls. But that's a whole different topic. I totally agree with you, Sean, on that one.
And I can see, like, if you're just looking at devil's advocate, throwing out all these bags, like in any sport, you kind of limit your flexibility and you kind of lock yourself into it. But I mean, what a problem that would be to lock yourself into 10 years of Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce. Like, oh, what a scary problem that is. Like, it's fine if you have to sacrifice your flexibility for the next 7 years to have a record-breaking offense, then I think that's fine. And then back to the Chris Jones thing, you are kind of expecting a huge amount of production out of him. Not that he hasn't produced, but this money is basically labeling him as being in the Nick Bosa, Aaron Donald, Myles Garrett tier of DNs. So I'm glad it is incentive based. If I was a Chiefs fan, I'd be happy about that because that's always good for anybody that's on a contract. But you still got to get that production at the end of the day if it's going to be base 19.5 million.
I said this before, but I really do not fully understand. I don't think anybody does NFL salary caps because they seem to be able to maneuver everything around, like make things that count towards the cap and don't count towards the cap, and like do incentives count towards the cap. Because like if they don't, then why wouldn't I not be paying somebody $900,000 base salary and a $20 million bonus if they throw one pass, which for Aaron Rodgers would not have counted, but for a majority of players would.
Oh, too soon.
Rank, I cannot answer that. Every year at the end of the season, the Saints are $80 million over the cap, and somehow they always finagle the money. They're playing funny money, and they get to even or whatever. Really, I don't know how they do it. It's odd.
It seems like the money manipulation in the NFL is like in a league of its own compared to other sports. Like I don't know how I'm with you on that. I don't know how they do that, and they always talk about restructuring people's deals to make it more team friendly. Like I feel like you don't really see that in like the NBA or anything else.
It's something to do with like bonuses, I think, like signing bonuses, and like you can move things off the base salary and give them the money up front. But I don't really know.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Right,
Rank, let's hear your hot take or excuse me, your reaction from week 1.
Oh, it's hot take. I think the Jets will be fine. I'm going to take a page out of Aaron Rodgers' book and RELAX. Let's relax. I think the Jets showed a lot of fight last night. Their defense is really good. That defense is ridiculous. Quinn Williams and his brother Quincy Williams were all over that field. Isaiah Whitehead, great addition. The team showed a lot of fight. I think they need to take the training wheels off Zach Wilson because he didn't look bad, to be honest, when he was actually allowed to throw the ball. They were throwing a lot of dink down passes, a lot of BS things. Like when he was allowed to, he had a nice pass to Lazard when he was falling over. That was a nice pass. The Garrett Wilson pass touchdown was obviously a terrible pass that just Garrett Wilson made a ridiculous catch. But I think they need to take the training wheels off, let him run an offense, let Rodgers mentor him, and maybe bring in some backup quarterback somewhere. There's plenty of guys in the market. Matt Ryan, Carson Wentz, I don't even know who else, but like get somebody else in there. But I think they need to take the training wheels off. I think the Jets can still make the playoffs with a really good defense.
Rank, I think that's a phenomenal take, and I was almost going to try and steal that, but I think that game really showed that this team is like, I hate to say it, it's like a quarterback away from being a really good team. Like anytime I know, like, and I think we've got to start talking about Josh Allen as possibly being turnover prone. We might have to start labeling him as that if he doesn't already have that label. But besides that, when you could pick off Josh Allen 3 times in a game and hold the Bills to a very low amount of points and just basically, still win a game with Zach Wilson. And then I'm going to let Liam have the floor for his special teams moment. But that just shows you have a really complete team, and shout out Robert Saleh. And like you said, Rank, there are a lot of QBs on the market. I know Colt McCoy's still there. I saw something that Colin Kaepernick reached out to them. RG3 was pitching himself to the Jets on First Take or whatever show he was on. So there's a lot of candidates out there. Cam Newton's still out there. I don't know if you want to go down that path, but Tom Brady. I think that a lot of people could say that this season is now just like a wash. I completely disagree. I think you need, and I hate to put this in rank terminology, you need a Jimmy Garoppolo to just be a game manager and steady this ship and just see, it's too early to give up. You've invested everything into this season. Like, just see what you can get.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you guys, except I think they need to bring in a backup ASAP. I do not trust Zach Wilson to handle the offense. I just don't. I think Garrett Wilson saved the game yesterday with that touchdown catch. If not, they're kicking field goals every time, and that's purely because Breece Hall was getting 10 yards per carry. I don't know. Zach Wilson, he looked like a JV player running around the pocket yesterday. I'm going to call a spade a spade. He's not an NFL starting quarterback at all. They need to bring in somebody else, a veteran that sits in the pocket and can pass a little bit, because they have too many weapons not to. I think their defense is just unbelievable. We got to talk about the Bills a little bit, and we talked a little bit about them before the game. And obviously, I say it all the time. Special teams wins ball games. What happened last night, fellas? OT, game over. Thank you for coming. Run that shit back. Goodbye. See you later. No Rodgers, no problem. Jets are back in business. Quarterback away.
Liam,
I'm glad you brought up the Breece Hall thing. I'm glad Breece Hall's looking really good. That's a good running. I wish that Dalvin Cook could get going a little bit. But what were you going to say, Rank?
Liam, in an ideal world, what 2 quarterbacks would you want to, like, ideally, like, not just one? What other quarterbacks would you like to bring into the Jets organization?
I don't know how you guys will feel about this. I think that an old Carson Wentz wouldn't be a bad fit. I really don't.
He looked terrible.
They need a guy, and he was on the Peyton and Eli show yesterday. They need a Fitzmagic type of guy. That's who they need. A type of guy like that. A veteran, a hard-nosed. No, I'm not saying they need to bring Fitzpatrick back. They need that type of guy, hard-nosed veteran leader that will go out and win you games, or at least compete. Because Zach Wilson, come on, he looked terrible yesterday. He looked awful. He's tripping over himself.
I'm going to throw his name out here, even though this guy is not hard-nosed and not really a leader at all and doesn't go out there and win you games anymore, but he's better than Zach Wilson, so I'm going to say Matt Ryan. Is that a bad take?
Yeah. Matt Ryan.
Maybe bring back the Jets GOAT, Mr. Elite himself, Joe Flacco.
That's not a bad idea. Or
he
Mike White.
Terrible, Liam.
Should have been Mike White all along. Let's keep it a buck.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Robert Saleh did say today, I think that he said something about how Zach Wilson is the guy, which is really depressing.
He has to say that. He can't say that.
He has to say that, especially with all the locker room shit that Zach Wilson's been through.
Yeah.
You got to minimize that shit. Keep that shit on the DL.
Okay.
Zach Wilson said he was going to make the next quarterback's life hell, and he's definitely made Aaron Rodgers' life hell.
Oh.
Come on. Too soon. See, this is why, people ask me all the time, why aren't you like a diehard Jets fan? Being a
I was
Saints
asking
fan
you
is
this.
painful enough. I could never, I have a soft spot for them. They're my AFC team. I just, I can't be fully involved because this is painful, man. This is a painful life. But we got to talk about the Bills. We got to talk about the
Yeah.
Bills. Josh Allen, what was he doing yesterday? Some of those picks were just absolutely terrible. The deep ball, you just throw it into triple coverage downfield. It doesn't make any sense. I think the Bills have a real issue, and I said it last show. I don't think they're making the playoffs this year.
I'll let you take this one, Rank.
That's not crazy. I think I said last show too. Josh Allen has had a turnover problem since the UCL tear or whatever it was last season. In the middle of the season, he's had a problem throwing the ball, and it was his big knockout of him coming out of college. Like, he was a gunslinger who had a turnover problem, and he seemed to have quieted it down the first couple of years, but it seems to be roaring back. And obviously, it's a one game; you can't overreact too much. But I do think the Bills' offense are in trouble because they do have weapons. Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs are two good wide receivers. I consider them both above average for ones and twos. And the fact that he's making these many bad throws, it's concerning. And obviously, Jets defense is really good, but I think Josh Allen needs to limit turnovers. They need to run the ball more. They have not run the ball at all in his tenure in Buffalo, and that's a major problem. They have James Cook. He's a decent running back. Give him the ball. Let's see what happens. And Josh Allen needs to stop taking so many big hits. He's just bound to get more hurt.
Rank, I want to point out how you brought up Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. Who else? That's it. That's literally it. Like, and I wouldn't even. You might be high on Gabe Davis. I'm really not, and I think they need to go out and get someone that can be next to Stephon Diggs. And for God's sakes, that man has carried so much of their offense, like from a reception perspective. And then kind of echoing what you said on rushing, they don't really have Singletary anymore, and I'm blanking on the names they had in the past. But I mean, this is kind of a putrid. Like, Latavius Murray is way too old to be getting carries on this team. I don't know what the hell he was doing.
There?
He got 2 carries last night for some reason. But to give 12 carries to your lead back, and then you take away Josh Allen's 6 carries, like that's 16 times you ran the ball. That's really not, and like we're saying, if Josh Allen is going to have a turnover problem, then help him not have to throw the ball 41 times. Get this run offense and figure this out. They have a great defense, but their defense can only do so much.
I think it was really poor coaching too. They should, like you said, Truth. Why are you throwing the ball so much against the Jets? They have an insane secondary.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
it's tough for me to say this because I was the one that was really hyping on. I was kind of blowing them a little bit last show, and I'll admit that. But I'm not gonna be blowing them anymore if they don't shape it up.
Okay. Let's move on to another game. Rank, I think let's just air it out, air our dirty laundry. That was the most disgusting performance I've ever seen, and I hated that they left Daniel Jones out there. That made me sick to my stomach. And so what announcer was talking about, oh, it's ballsy, it shows a lot of heart. Get him out of the game. They're down 40-0. It's your franchise quarterback. They said, oh, he's showing heart, and then he got absolutely nailed. He got thrown into the ground on a sack right after they said that. What is going on? I don't know. I think at that point you just got to wave the white flag. Give up. Game's over. It was over a long time ago. So, you go. That's all I need to say.
Wow.
Lots of thoughts. Lots of thoughts. I'll first start with this. Micah Parsons is the best defender in football. He is the next Lawrence Taylor, and it makes me sick to my stomach that the Giants passed on him to trade back to get fucking Kadarius Toney. Pisses me off.
Oh, dude, I didn't know that.
That's sickening. That is sickening.
Secondly, the offense looked really good in that first drive. I was so excited. They were moving the ball. Saquon was getting touches, and they got all the way down to about to score a touchdown, and they freaking get a field goal block. And Liam talks about special teams, and that changed the game. It was a rainy day. Dak also did terrible on offense, so I'm not blaming it on Daniel Jones. It's literally a perfect storm of shit. And I don't like the play calling. Saquon needed to get the ball more. I think we got down and we got scared and we just tried to throw the ball out of it. And we couldn't do that. Our offensive line was not good. It looked absolutely terrible. Daniels had no time to throw the ball. Like, he was immediately getting sacked. And they talked about on the broadcast, Mike Tirico before the game was like, yeah, the Giants got like a lot faster this offseason. And they looked slow as hell. Like, the Cowboys were outspeeding them everywhere around this field. It's a game. It's a game. It's concerning that the past two games to our division rivals, Eagles in the playoffs, and now this, we've both been blown out. It was a perfect storm. It was unlucky. And I'm just going to hope the next week that they work on it and get better. But we paid Daniel Jones $180 million, something like that. So he's our quarterback the next couple of years, and we need to build a team around him.
I'm looking at a big fat 0 in the reception column next to Sterling Shepard's name. Rank, who do you trust out of this receiving core?
Darren Waller.
Okay.
Darren Waller.
That's the end of the list.
Going.
Okay, because I'm looking at Slayton.
And
I've never really thought. Oh, Slayton?
Isaiah Hodgins. He was really good
Okay.
last year. Not really much.
And I'll cut them some slack because Daniel Jones was just basically getting brutally pounded, for lack of better words, by the D-line. But so I'll cut them some slack. Maybe he couldn't find them if they were open. Maybe that's why their target numbers are down. But if that's not an issue, I'm going to have a real problem with these receivers here.
They need to protect the man. How many times was he sacked and pressured? Like, it was absurd. They would hike the ball to him and he'd have 3 guys on him right away.
It was 7
I don't
sacks
know.
and a lot more pressures.
Yeah, that's absolutely despicable.
Rank,
That's
I'm sure
absolutely
you've seen the thing about like no team has ever done this, and
Yeah.
and they did it all. If you guys have it, you can pull it up. I'm not going to do that to you, Rank.
We don't need to do that.
To be honest, that makes
They
me
defied
happy.
history.
It makes me happy because it was so historically bad as the game was. They can't repeat that. Like, it's got to get better from here.
Liam, why did your face go like that?
They play the Cowboys. They play the Cowboys again this season, Rank.
We're
It's
going
not
to get better. It's gonna get better.
It has to get better, right? Has to.
We play the Cardinals this week. Let's get a win.
All right. The hard truth of it is we're also going to have to talk about the other side of the ball. I know you gave your flowers to Micah Parsons, as you should. Walk me through this Dallas offense. I know they didn't contribute to all of the 40 points, but I feel like I'm the least of a Dak hater out of you guys, so I just want to see where you guys stand.
Our offense is average. Dak completed 13 passes for 143 yards, no touchdowns, and Tony Ballard ran the ball 14 times for 70 yards and 2 touchdowns. He got 2 times in the end zone, but the Cowboys were constantly getting short fields. Their defense carried them in this game. But offensively on the side of the ball, I don't think they looked really that good.
Yeah, I think it was more of a case of the game being over before it started.
Yeah.
And, I will give the Cowboys a little slack. I think I want to see CeeDee Lamb more involved. He got 4 targets this game. The tight end, Jake Ferguson, got 7. Come on.
Ooh.
CeeDee Lamb getting the same amount of targets as Brandon Cooks. Like, what are we doing there? That's all I'm going to say.
But I'll agree with you guys. This team is really built by its defense. Micah Parsons, who we already talked about, Dante Fowler has been good since the end of the league. DeMarcus Lawrence, 2-3 years ago, was like the sack leader, and obviously Gilmore and Diggs are in the secondary. Like, this is the championship level defense, and honestly, if they can win 40-0 with Dak having 13 completed pass attempts, then this is not something to be worried about. Obviously, they're going to play, no offense, right, much better teams. But, maybe when they go ahead and play the Eagles, we'll see how that works. But, this is a good foundation to start on. Liam, there's a lot of shaking your head and a lot of nodding. What was that?
I feel for Rank when you said they're going to play a lot better teams, and then you mentioned the
Well,
Eagles. That just it's like salt in the wound almost. But yeah, that's all I gotta say.
I
We
feel
can
like
move on.
that was not that bad because the Eagles,
Yeah,
were in the Super Bowl last year. Like
yeah,
if I had said like the Saints, then that would have been really mean because then, you're suggesting some, and I'm not saying that they're not. I'm not making a statement here, but it's pretty close. That would have been meaner.
yeah. You're right. I mean, I don't know. They won week 1, so let's move on.
Yes, please.
Let's jump into that
Um,
game.
The Saints game.
Yeah.
It was ugly. UGLY. Talk about special teams once again. Shout out to the Tennessee kicker, Nick Folk. 5 for 5 on field goals. Dude had a day. Ryan Tannehill, not an NFL quarterback. I think he tried his hardest to get Malik Willis into the game or Will Levis or whoever they have now. But, you got to give credit. Saints defense looked amazing. Demario Davis, incredible. Marshawn Lattimore's back. He had a nice pick. Should have had 2. Only thing that really worried me was like the screen passes, but if you hold teams to no touchdowns, it's a great day. We also had a punt block. That was awesome. Steve Gleason was in the building for that. It was like, I don't know, it was just perfect. I'm really worried about the offense though. I think Derek Carr is going to get better. And I really liked the way Michael Thomas looked. I've been telling you guys this whole offseason he's going to be back. He looked incredible. He made an amazing catch too on the sideline, little diver. I just want to see this offense get started. It's tough without a run game.
Yeah, this run game didn't look too good, but you got to cut him some slack till Alvin comes back. Talk about Olave though. I mean, I'm so glad I picked him up in a couple fantasy leagues because he's looking like he could be a real. I don't even want to say number 2. Could he be a real number 1?
I think absolutely. I think this is going to sound weird. Taysom Hill needed the ball more this game. I
Oh
think
God.
he needed to be the running back this game because Jamal Williams was just not getting the job done. And once we have an established run game, Olave could go for 200 yards game in and game out. I think he's a certified number 1 in this league. He was cooking. MT number 2, AT Perry our number 3. Shout out to Rashid Shaheed. It's my boy. Walk onto the team, undrafted. He went to school for track and field. Dude's catching touchdowns in the NFL. He had a game. I think the Saints are going to be good this year. They just need to figure out the kinks.
Yeah, Derek Carr had nice passing yards. I think they couldn't convert a lot in the red zone, things like that, leading to lots of field goals, things like that. So Alvin Kamara is going to be a big difference maker in this offense. Having Jamal Williams on my fantasy teams, he absolutely stunk, and that sucked. But I think Alvin Kamara coming back will be a big boost to this team. And Derek Carr, I'll be on a Derek Carr hype train for the rest of my life. I think he's a really great quarterback. I think he's in the perfect system where he can actually flourish and have a team around him. So I'm really excited to see things.
Looking at the other side of the ball, and I feel like we can't say much about the Titans because they did go up against a good defense. And like Liam said, Ryan Tannehill doesn't really know what he's doing out there. So I want to cut Derrick Henry some slack too. And I want to cut DeAndre Hopkins some slack too because he had 13 targets and caught 7 of them. And for someone who didn't watch the game, I don't know if these are just the worst thrown passes in the world or if it's on Hopkins. I don't know if you can clarify that, Liam.
They were they were bad. Dude, Tannehill was just chucking. Like it was interesting. Really, really just not good.
So is this going to be, are they going to be the bottom of the barrel in the bottom of the barrel division of the league?
I think their only redeeming factor is they have some guys on defense and they have 2 stud running backs, but they need to put in a different quarterback. Tannehill's just not him.
Yeah, I've got a question about the running backs. We'll talk a little fancy real quick. Both the actual back running back, Spears, actually had more snaps than Derrick Henry this week.
Really?
I think this is becoming more of a. I think Derrick Henry touched the ball more, but Spears had more snaps than him
by a mile.
Yeah.
He only had 3 carries, so he must have been a big guy in the receiving game. Is what you're saying?
So do we think Spears is going to take over offense? Do we think Derrick Henry's on the decline in the back end, or are they trying to finally save him up for the playoff run, which they won't be in? But
I think this is going to be like a dual threat, a receiving back and then your running back. Because Tajay Spears last year, he looked really, really good. I think in this case they kind of ran into a team. The Saints have a great defense, and I'm not just trying to brag. I think they're going to be okay. I really think their big issue is that they have Ryan Tannehill as their starting quarterback. Derrick Henry, he killed us on a screen. He got like a 50-yard screen pass. Dude threw a man too. I don't know if you guys saw that. Full on stiff arm, like prime. It was good. I don't think he's on the decline. I think they just need to figure out who's taking the snaps.
Yeah, I'll
Running
echo
the
that. He's only 29, and I'm hesitant to say only 29 because running backs lifetime in the NFL is pretty weird. But it does. If you look at the breakdown and the play-by-play, it seems like they didn't really run the ball too much in the second half. Liam's, I don't know if you can attest to that, but any quarter of football where you're forcing Ryan Tannehill to make plays more than your star running back is not going to lead to winning football. So I won't say he's on the downfall either. He'll have to prove me wrong, just because he's one of the best running backs in the league for the past couple of years.
One more thing for you guys. Shout out, I was really sad Will Lutz, but shout out to Groupie. Dude is a baller. We found a stud kicker, and I'm really happy about it.
Okay. Frank, do you have a game in mind?
Yes, I'd like to talk about the Bengals. I think this is
Yes.
back-to-back years where they've had terrible week ones, considering I've had some of my fantasy teams back-to-back years. Are we concerned about Joe Burrow moving forward and T. Higgins getting no catches? Or is it just another – they always seem to play bad against the Browns. It's just another week one problem. They're going to be good the rest of the way.
Dude, 8 targets and 0 catches is an amazing stat. That's actually really incredible.
Joe Burrow didn't get over 100 passing yards.
There was no run game. There was no receiving game. There clearly wasn't much defense played. Shout out the Browns, though. Shout out Nick Chubb.
Shout out the Browns.
Deshaun Watson did stuff. That we know that defense is good, but I think I'm going to agree with you, Rank. I think that the focus of this conversation should be about the Bengals. I personally didn't watch much of this game, but just looking at it at face value, this is. I hate I've learned from the Chiefs. I'm not going to overreact, but let's just call it rust. I'll call it rust.
One thing that I hate is when you talk garbage and you can't back it up. I hate that so much. And Jamar Chase, take a step back, buddy. You're calling them the Keebler Elves, and then you get absolutely smoked on that elf field. Pathetic performance from the Bengals. And when they benched Joe Burrow, man, that was just icing on the cake. I don't want to say I'm turning into a Bengals hater, but I'm halfway there right now.
Dude, when you make Joe Burrow one of the most expensive players of all time and bench him in the game, that's not a good look.
The benching makes sense because he had the hamstring injury over the offseason, like towards the end of training camp. So what the Giants should have done with Daniel Jones, they did with Joe Burrow. But I agree. I feel like the Bengals have these games, though. They have these games where they just look absolutely terrible. And I don't understand why.
Mm-hmm.
Like Joe Burrow can be great in the playoffs and great in games, but then sometimes he has these terrible games where he has a 20 QBR and they have no rushing game and nothing seems to click. And I feel like if I would never bet for the Bengals because you never know which Bengals team's showing up.
Yeah, I know they're going against Myles Garrett, and I don't know if you guys saw that crossover thing he was doing, and then
that was
immediately got a pressure. But I'm really worried about the Bengals offensive line. We saw when they played in the Super Bowl, Joe Burrow was under pressure every single snap. It doesn't get a lot easier for the Bengals this year. I think their offensive line really needs to step it up.
This has always been their biggest problem, and every offseason they feel like they fixed it, but I don't think they fixed it.
This is a young team too, kind of all around the ball. It's a young team. You're just not going to be as consistent. You're not a veteran yet. If you're a lot of their best players just aren't veteran players. it's going to be tough to establish that level of consistency and productivity that a lot of these veterans can. I'll give them a little bit of slack here, but I better not see this week too if I'm going to keep believing in Joey B.
We like to rapid fire through some games, and then we have some big ones to talk about.
Yeah.
Bucks Vikings. Any instant reactions?
Yeah.
Shout out Baker.
Yeah. Shout out to the NFC South, man. I told you guys last season, I was saying it the whole season, the Vikings are frauds, and they'd come out and lose to a team that's projected to be the worst in the NFL. That's all I got to say. Frauds.
What's the Baker quote that you said? More weight, buddy, or something? You guys see that?
Hit the weight room or something like that.
Yeah.
Baker,
Justin Jefferson
man.
played well. That's about it.
They have a problem with fumbling. Kirk Cousins just couldn't handle the ball on Sunday. It was really weird. Snapped right to him and he just dropped it right away. Madison, I'm sorry, Madison looked like garbage too. He looked terrible. He had a lucky touchdown and that was it.
All right. Frank, anything or next one?
Next one. 49ers Steelers. The 49ers are really good. I know you're both pissed off about it for some freaking reason, but Brock Purdy, surprising to me, to be honest, looks like a really good quarterback. I don't understand how this happens, but he looked great. The defense absolutely annihilated the Steelers, and this game was over pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Kenny Pickett's not good yet. I can't tell if Najee's still trash or it's just the Niners defense. Niners look really good. Why did Sam Darnold get 2 carries? I don't know. Brock Purdy did well. Defense did well. This is just a classic beatdown. I think Mike Tomlin's time of being a force in this league is officially over. That's all I got.
Najee looked like he was running in molasses. I don't know what is wrong with him. He used to be so fast. Now he's just slow as shit. And Ren, question for you. Do you still think that Sam Darnold will be taking over the reins anytime soon?
Yes, but I think he'll be taking over the reins for the New York Jets.
Wow. Back to the Jets he goes.
God, that would be.
Yeah, so I think as long as Brock Purdy stays healthy, he very much impressed me. Like I thought he was overrated and all that stuff, but he looked really good.
Yeah. Question for you guys: Niners defense or Cowboys defense? Who's the best in the NFL?
Niners.
Just established reputation.
They got more players. They've got better corners, better safeties. I will forever be on the Trayvon Diggs sucks train, and that's my opinion.
Yeah, Fred Warner's just.
He's the best linebacker in the league. Yeah. Best interior linebacker.
It's not fair. It's really not fair. Let's move on.
Bears.
Next one.
Rick. I was going to say Bears, Packers. Jordan Love, welcome to the NFL. Better than Aaron Rodgers. Jordan Love, time to shine. The new dynasty has started, throwing to no names and getting hundreds of yards. Aaron Jones is a great running back and a great guy to have if you're Jordan Love. I've never really liked the Packers, but shout out Packers. Go do your thing. Almost Packers. A 40 bomb.
They were, everybody was so hyped about the Bears this season. The Packers came out and just smacked them in the mouth. Nothing they could do.
You seem a little quieter now, Liam, about your Bears. You seemed really excited about when you were all writing your picks earlier, but now we're talking about how bad the Bears look, and you're kind of quiet.
I believe that falls more on the Truett. And in this division, it's run by the Motor City Lions. Truett was the one saying. Yes, I did say that. All in up to it. But somebody said that Justin Fields and what was it, DJ Moore would be a dynasty or something. I don't know, something crazy like that.
Jair Alexander's a really, really good corner, and he deserves to talk his shit to DJ Moore. I will totally give him that. It's just like he had a really good number one corner on him. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I expected more from Justin Fields. I think they're going to get better as the season goes along. I was surprised how little he ran. I think that was a big part of his game last year, and they want to hold that back at some point, but he needs to have some point to his dynamics. Like,
Get the man
abilities on
another
offense.
running
Yeah.
back too. He was half their rushing yards. Get him another running back.
What the hell was up with the screen passes? I want to see Justin Fields air it out a little bit. He's got receivers now. Why not throw to him? I'm if you're gonna run screen passes, you might as well just let him run the ball because I don't know. It didn't make any sense to me.
I agree. I think they've always handled it with kid gloves, and this is third season league at this point. I think it is, and he needs to be able to throw the ball. Like, just let him do it. Let's see what you have there at this point.
Chase
Yeah.
Claypool's also a complete joke. I don't know if you guys saw the clips of him just
Oh my
giving
God.
absolutely minimal effort. That was embarrassing. And then acting like he got fucking shot in the chest or something when someone touched him. Yeah,
So funny.
this is embarrassing.
I will have Jordan Love up. Just give my opinion. I think Jordan Love's really good. I think he had a great preseason. He's back it up now, and as big a rivalry this is, to have your first game as a Green Bay Packer quarterback being this, it was a statement game for him. And the Packers might be dangerous. They were missing their top wide receiver. Christian Watson didn't even play. We'll see how he gets back next week.
Yeah, they're a fun team. They're going to be really easy to root for too.
Yeah, which is weird because the Packers aren't typically easy to root for.
Mm-hmm.
Let's rip the Band-Aid off this one. Rams, Seahawks. I'll just give my small little spiel. I was delusional for thinking that missing Cooper Kupp was going to mean that this was a game. The Rams offense looks like it's back, but not even just that. The Seahawks defense continues to be really horrendous like it was last year. It's a really young unit of guys. You still have Tariq Woolen, but it looks like Weatherspoon didn't really record any stats. I think he played a little bit, but that was your top guy that you drafted for defense. This defense is horrendous. Shout out Bobby Wagner coming back and leading the team in tackles. Like, he used to lead the league in tackles for like years in a row, and he came back and had 19. Like, that's absurd. So shout out to him, but everyone else, like, it's tough to play against this Rams defense. I'm not putting too much stock into this, that Geno's numbers were down, Kenneth's numbers were down, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett didn't really have a game at all. I'm not putting too much stock into it just because this is one game against a really good team that was in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. That's all I got.
Wow, really good team, huh? Changed your tune since last week. All I'm gonna say for you, Truitt, is you're very lucky that the Bengals and the Giants shit the bed, because if they didn't, the Seahawks definitely would have the most underwhelming performance in week 1, in my opinion.
Definitely underwhelming. Yeah.
Are you concerned about DK Metcalf? I feel like he's had a bunch of anger issues, and that was another place where he just gets frustrated and shoved a guy. It's like Odell again almost at this point.
Yeah, he's got a bit of the fire and he's got some anger issues, yeah, and he has kind of that Odell-esque diva tendency, which is like, it's tough to watch. Like I kind of said before, like when we're talking about fantasy, I don't know what's going to happen in terms of who is the clear go-to receiver between. It was already kind of a debate between Lockett and Metcalf. Lockett's the veteran that's been there, and ever since Doug Baldwin retired, Lockett kind of became that number one guy. But I think we all assumed Metcalf was going to just exponentially go up and be the number one guy. Now you draft Smith and Jigba in the first round, and where does he stand in all this? I don't really know, Rank. You would think that having this plethora of guys would take a lot of pressure off DK. Maybe he doesn't get guarded by like the Jalen Ramseys of the world, because that was his issue the last couple of years, is having to play him twice a year. I don't know. I think this is too small of a sample size. If this were to happen like exactly the way it happened game 2, maybe we'd have a bit of an issue. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
All right. Raiders Broncos. I think at least me and Liam were expecting more from the Broncos this year, and Sean Payton has big fucking balls for coming out with a onside kick to start the game off, but they look like the same on Broncos. This is a last year Broncos score 17-16, losing by 1. Like, I don't know what it is, but this team just can't get over the hump.
Russell Wilson is so washed, bro. So washed up.
Yeah, Rank, I need you to try and defend Russell Wilson again. It's disappointing, and it's not really reflected in the stats, because the stats show he had kind of a mediocre not an explosive game, but definitely an efficient game. But
Like
this is
terrible.
this is bad. Like this is embarrassing. And yeah, you can. I'm gonna just say it for you that yeah, he didn't have Jerry Judy, but I don't think that's really much of an excuse here.
He's an average quarterback at this point. Like I expect more from him, and I don't know what's going to happen, and maybe things get turned around. But I'm not feeling great about my Broncos winning the division take right now.
Once again, if they scored 18 points,
I
they would
know.
have won this game.
It feels like this was like the 19th game to their season last year. Like exactly what it feels like.
This receiving core is also like extremely underwhelming, especially when, and I know I just mentioned Jerry Judy was out, but when Samaje Perine is your leading receiver, that's got to be a red flag. And that's not even something that no amount of Hall of Fame coaches is going to add is going to fix that problem.
I think, and this might be a really hot take, if they recover that onside kick, they win the game.
I agree.
I don't even know if that's a hot take, but
Nope.
Yeah.
Other side of the ball, I kind of really want to see a little dick riding to Jimmy G. First game in Las Vegas, and he gets a nice win. I think you're gonna hate him, but Jimmy G finds a way to win. And as Truett said, I think he would be perfect on the Jets right now, and Liam, you can't even lie about that. But I think he finds a way to win. And I think the Raiders, who knows, maybe sneak around playoff time a little bit. I don't know. Jimmy G train back on it.
Liam, you got to address that. You got to say something.
Dude's just average, and he went in and beat a bad team. He's once again, he's very lucky that the Broncos, for some reason, can't score 18 points. That's all I gotta say.
That's it.
He's lucky he has Devontae. You have Devontae Adams, and you're putting up 200 passing yards. Give me a break. What the hell is going on?
The Raiders finished above 500 this season. That's my hot take of the episode.
Yeah, Liam, but we also have talked about how that Denver defense is pretty good. That you can also attribute that to maybe why Josh Jacobs had less than 50 yards. You know, I don't think this is. I don't know if it's entirely on Jimmy G, but also they somehow did find a way to get the win.
I'm not on the Raiders hype train at all. I think this was just two not good teams squaring off. Somebody had to win. And it went, and it sure as hell wasn't going to be the Russell Wilson-led Broncos.
Yeah, I don't think this is entirely indicative of like any type of reaction you can have for either team. It's maybe the Broncos if you want to say they're still trash, but I don't think you can really definitively say something good or bad about the Raiders. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, I'm not going to react on them just yet. They gotta play some teams in their division.
All right, let's talk about the best game of the weekend, in my opinion. Dolphins Chargers.
Great game.
One thing I gotta say, Tyreek Hill is the best wide receiver in the National Football League. Step aside, Jay Jettas. It belongs to Cheetah himself.
I'll take it a step up, Liam. I think Tyreek Hill could actually win MVP this year. And I know that's like never been done before, but I think he could actually win MVP. Just he is incredibly valuable. His numbers didn't even come close to anybody else on his team, anybody on the other side. He is literally one of the most valuable players on that team. You take him away from this team, you make Tua look bad. You don't allow any type of rushing to get set up. You're basically just setting up Jalen Waddle for failure if he's the number one. I think he is the most valuable player or could be in this league.
I think the biggest stat from this game, Tua did not get sacked.
Wow. That's
the most important thing. If they can keep Tua upright and keep him healthy, the Dolphins can win the Super Bowl. Like, that's not an overreaction. This offense is I'm going to say, Liam, I think you're better than the Jaguars offense. This is the best offense in football. Like, Waddle and Tyreek Hill and his running backs, like, they are really good. I love Mike Daniels. I think he's a crazy lunatic, but he's so much fun. And I think Dolphins will be really fun to watch this season.
Shout out to him, man. 466 passing yards. It's just awesome. What a game this was. What a game. I think on the other side of the ball, the Chargers don't have anything to worry about besides their defense. But when you go up against the best wide receiver in the NFL, it's always tough. Great game.
We gotta give credit. Austin Eckler showed why he was right to hold out a while back. He is one of the best backs in the league. Herbert looked good. The receivers did their job. I'm gonna agree with you, Liam. The defense is maybe a little worrisome, which is confusing considering you have a lot of big names. They just got Khalil Mack. Joey Bosa's there. J.C. Jackson was supposed to help that secondary. Derwin James is supposed to be one of the best safeties in the league. That if we're gonna take away anything major from this game, that's what I'm a little concerned about.
Yeah,
I was also very happy on the Charger side with who's the new offensive coordinator there? It's
Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore, yeah. I feel like we've talked about this past couple of years of the running game not handing the ball off enough, and Eckler got 16 carries, Joshua Kelly got 16 carries, 32 carries is much better than what the Chargers have been doing the past couple of years, and that takes some pressure off of Herbert, and I think that's big for this offense. And if that continues, I have a lot more faith in the Los Angeles Chargers.
If the Chargers can put up points like this with Justin Herbert only having 230 passing yards, they're in for a good season. Let's just hope that they can continue this, I guess, committee on offense. I'd like to see them be consistent.
Yeah. All right, we really got to go rapid fire now. Here's some games we can go rapid fire. Cardinals, Commanders.
This was a case of who wanted to lose, and the Cardinals wanted to lose more, so they did.
Which doesn't make any sense because they don't have their, or no, they do. Do they have their pick? Who doesn't have their?
Two.
They have two.
They got one
so
and
maybe,
two.
You know what? It does make sense. I'll give it to them.
Sam Howell is decent. That's it.
That's it? Okay. Jaguars, Colts.
Great game. Great game. Shout out to the Colts. Nobody thought they were going to win this game. Trevor Lawrence and Calvin Ridley, again, looked amazing. But shout out to Anthony Richardson. I think he had the best debut out of all the rookie quarterbacks.
He definitely did. And I like what Trevor Lawrence said to him after the game. He needs to stop taking as many hits because he got hurt at the end of the game. And that's different. But he was very impressive.
I think this Jaguars offense, we're going to be talking about this for a while just with their running backs. Lawrence, obviously, Ridley looked really good in his return from off-season, off-the-field activities. Zay Jones looked good. Evan Ingram looked good. Travis, I don't know if I'm really pronouncing his name correctly. Etienne? Etienne is a force in the passing game, too, which is really good to see. So, yeah, this offense is definitely going to be what carries them to games.
Colts are a fun team. I really enjoyed watching that game.
I think Jonathan Taylor was playing.
Yeah. If JT was playing, it might have been a different story. Pittman had a great game too. Shout out to him. A lot of people were sleeping on him this year. He played great.
Well, to be fair to the people that were sleeping on him, he was so hyped up last year and took a big dump on everybody. So he's naturally gonna get some haters. Speaking of rookie quarterbacks, Panthers versus Falcons, kind of another. Let's just be shitty and see who's shittier.
I don't know about that, Truitt. I watched this game. I think the Falcons are actually going to be a decent team this year, and it hurts me a lot to say that. Their defense did not look bad, and their offense, if Tyler Algier keeps this up, they might have the best running back committee in the entire NFL.
Shout out Bijan.
Yeah, that hurts me.
Yeah, Falcons running back's really good. They have no passing game, absolutely none. Kyle Pitts and Drake London will still never touch the ball in their life. So the Falcons are just going to run teams out of the water.
Drake London, another big fat 0 next to his name, which is concerning. I agree, Rank. I guess Panthers, I don't know what you want to say there. Bryce Young, underwhelming debut.
They're just not a good team.
Also, what the hell happened to Adam Thielen, dude? The man goes to the fucking Panthers and looks like he's shitting the bed every time.
He's falling off.
I think
So sad.
the Panthers are going to be battling for one of the worst teams in the NFL, I think.
Yeah. Speaking of worst teams in the NFL, Texans, which we can talk about that rookie debut versus the Baltimore Ravens, who really didn't have to do anything from their star players to win this game. I just want to say, Texans, please don't make CJ Stroud throw the ball 44 times in his debut. Oh my God, dude. Why?
Yeah. Prayers up for J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, very
So
sad.
sad. So sad.
I don't know what
But
it is about Ravens running backs. Just can't stay
yeah.
healthy.
Shout out to Zay Flowers. I think the Ravens found their number one. Lamar Jackson finally has some help. And once again, this game was just over before it started. You knew the Texans weren't winning this game.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson didn't have a great game, though. Only
He did not.
159 passings and a pick. But they didn't really need to do too much to the Texans, so let's see how he does in a bigger game.
He didn't even need to have a good game, really.
I will say this, though. The Texans put on a lot of pressure, which is really concerning for the Ravens offensive line if the Texans are doing that to you. When they go against the Browns,
Texans
it's going to
also
be really interesting.
The Texans have no reason to tank at all just because they don't have their pick. So, you know, I don't know whether this is like concerning or not for them. If they're going to try to win some games, you know, there's no reason not to.
Let's call a spade a spade. They absolutely fucking stink.
Eagles, Eagles, Patriots. I didn't really see a lot of buzz about this game, to be honest. I don't.
Eagles looked rusty, very rusty. They scored 16 points early and then scored one touchdown the rest of the game. So offense was not clicking. A lot of questionable play calls. All Eagles fans I knew were not happy with it in general. So I'd be a little concerned with Eagles fans, but their offense also their starters played 0 snaps in the preseason. So a little rusty.
Shout out to Jalen Carter, leads the league in pressures right now.
He's good.
Nice.
I think
great draft pick.
The Eagles played terrible this game, in my opinion, and they still won. And they almost won by more, if not for that crazy, Mac Jones. What? But I don't think the Eagles are going to have any issues this year.
They do got to figure out this run game. I don't know why you go out and get DeAndre Swift when you're going to give him 1 carry and 2 targets in the passing game. They didn't have Rashad Penny. Boston Scott also got 1 carry. I don't really know who Kenneth Gainwell is, but
he's their new starting running back.
Say it again?
He's a new starting running back there.
Yeah, so I guess shout out to him for establishing some sort of running game, but this committee is not looking extremely strong to start with.
I want to give a big shout out to Bill O'Brien and the Pats offense. They looked a lot better this year.
They did.
I think Mac Jones threw the ball 50 times, which is not sustainable, and they need to get the ground game going, considering they have Ramondre and Zeke, but it's a game script kind of thing because the Eagles have such a great up-front group of guys that it's hard to run the ball against them. But I think the offense looked a lot better. Kendrick Bourne had a great game, and Patriots are going to be good.
That's a fair excuse rank with the Eagles D-line, but holy shit, Zeke is washed. That is...
Yeah, he is. He is really washed.
That is sad. Like, this is not real. They've always had running back by committee in New England, but it's just running back by Ramondre at this point. Like, that's all they have. Ty Montgomery, is that the guy that played for the Packers and was like a wide receiver and a running back? I thought that guy was out of the league, dude. What's he doing?
Dude, Ramondre averaged 2 yards per carry.
If he wasn't a force in the passing game, I would have said he had a terrible game.
Yeah. Shout out Mac Jones, though. 316 yards against the Eagles. 3 touchdowns. It's nothing to shake a stick at. They did a lot better than I thought they were going to do. And they were missing a ton of guys on their offensive line. The Pats were. So this was pretty impressive.
All right, I'll give you that. Just thought it was funny. So Ty Montgomery, I just because I was curious, because I was actually kind of a fan of him when he was on the Packers. He had 1 carry this game. So actually, I didn't even know he was on the Saints, Liam. So you might be familiar with him a little bit. Last year with New England, He had 2 carries all season.
Yep.
So-
Smart guy. He's from Stanford. Smart guy.
Wow, there you go. Rank, is that all our games?
All the games. Let's have some Thursday night football picks.
Rank, what are the standings right now?
So the game this week
Yeah.
is Vikings at Eagles.
No.
-7.
That's not what
Liam
was asked,
is
Rankle.
winning 2-0.
Oh,
Drew is in second place at 1-0, and I am in last at 0-1.
0-1. So that means you haven't won a game. Sorry.
Does mean that. I'd like.
I hate to not hype myself up, but this is sad because early victories is how I get hope, and then I know I'm just gonna finish in last again. But Liam, shout out to getting that. I thought you were gonna be kind of crazy. I thought they were gonna cover, obviously, but hey, shout out to your belief in Jared Goff.
Motor City Miracle, baby. That's all I gotta say.
Vikings at Eagles -7. Liam, you're the leader in the clubhouse. You guys make the first pick.
Yeah, I got first pick.
It's so obvious what he's gonna pick.
I got first pick, and I don't know how this would be possible, but I wish I had another double down. If you are into gambling at all, if you have DraftKings on your phone, go out, put the mortgage on Eagles cover. Mortgage. Tease that line up a little bit. Maybe 2 touchdowns. Eagles -14, lock it in. Game over.
Frank.
You're second now.
The 7 is always just such a massive line. So 7 is just massive in general, but 7 points is just it's so tough to just say that a team with utter confidence is gonna surpass it. And I know the Vikings are trash. I know the Eagles are at home, but the Eagles also just don't look dominant.
I want to see a beat down. I want to see people's faces getting kicked in.
As much as I want to say Vikings, but there's just so many reasons that I shouldn't say it. They don't even have Dalvin Cook, and they're playing a really good D line. They do have
looked garbage.
What'd you say?
Madison looked garbage against the Bucks.
Rank, do you have like a definite pick right now?
Yeah,
so I can buy myself time.
You know what he's gonna pick. You know what he's gonna pick.
I came into this episode thinking I was gonna be crazy and take the Vikings, but the Eagles blew the Vikings out last year in week 2 at home in Philly, and the Vikings did have a great season last year, but they were not able to beat the good teams, the great teams actually. So I can't take the Vikings. Like, it just physically pains me. I want to be against Liam, and it pains me to take the Eagles, but I physically don't think the Vikings can win this game. So for that reason, I have to pick the Eagles -7.
Wow. Are we gonna have a 3-way sweep on this, Truitt?
Yeah, I'm down for a 3-way sweep, but I really thought about fading you guys and going Vikings. Then I remembered, as soon as a single light hits Kirk Cousins' face, he turns into a 15-year-old boy.
What?
He's not good in prime time. I gotta go Eagles in this, but
wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Eagles. I think they could win by 10 or something. That's a tough pick for me to make, but at this point, I'm 1-0. I gotta be conservative with my crazy takes here.
It's fair. Very fair.
All right.
Has that ever happened in show history that we're all taking the same team?
It had to have at this point.
Maybe once or twice, but usually we just fade each other out of spite. So
dude, the fade rank train that you were on, Liam, that was a long period of time you did that. I don't know if this has really happened.
I believe it was a 6-game win streak that I went on because of that.
But who won that season?
Yeah, you did rank, but it's a new year.
It's a new season. Let's
It's
get into
my
this
year.
crossover.
Let's do some crossover. We have a high bar we set last time.
Yeah, we did.
Dude. Rank, I hope you're ready to repeat that performance.
Okay, boys, this is what we got today. Can you guys see it? We got all rookie team. That's gonna be really interesting.
Yeah.
Sure, you got one for us right here, Thunder all rookie.
Because I'm trying to think of who's not obvious. Like Jalen Williams, obviously, I think people are going to choose him. Do you think it has to have been like they had to have gone all rookie on the Thunder, or could they have been all rookie for another team and played for the Thunder?
Oh,
I think other teams it typically allows that.
that's really interesting. I didn't even think of that.
Well, Oladipo's one.
Yeah, see, that's not a bad pick, Rank.
Yeah, we'll try. You want? Yeah.
What all rookie team was he?
Oh,
Did he not make a rookie?
I don't know. Maybe trying to think of like if there's a more obvious one that we could use to test that.
Chris Paul. Did he make
That's
all
not
rookie?
He had to have, right? Paul George, you could probably throw him in there.
Okay, I think it's got Melo. If it doesn't work for Paul George, Melo. Because I know Melo.
Yeah,
was
it's
all
got to
rookie.
be. It's
Just
got to
try
be.
Jalen. Yeah.
Try Carmelo.
Okay.
No, it's
Okay,
got.
then
Okay,
it has
so it's
to.
got to
They
be on
had
the
to have
team.
gotten that for that same team.
Yeah. You guys got anybody
Supersonic guy?
else
Hmm?
for any of the other ones? Yeah. Do you think Supersonic would work, Rank?
Typically, yeah, I think.
Yeah, I think it does usually. Wizards all rookie. I don't think Denny Avia made it. I don't think people would guess that. I don't know.
It's poverty. My only thought goes to John Wall, but they had to have like someone.
Bulls Meta World
Who?
Peace.
Meta World Peace was a.
He was
Oh,
drafted
yeah,
by the Bulls. Oh my
Yeah.
God, Rankle.
I got one for Bulls Warriors. The GOAT.
Wait,
I don't
screen
remember what his
freeze on
first
my
name
end.
is. Something McKinney. Or no, not a young guy in the Warriors. Ian Clark. Try Ian Clark for Bulls Warriors.
Ian Clark. I remember him. Wasn't he on like the Jazz? Oh, those are
No,
red.
I swear he was in the Bulls.
Did Garrett Temple play on the Hawks?
I have no clue.
Try it. No, he didn't. Did he play on the Warriors? I want Garrett Temple in this. Oh, okay. Well,
This is actually a little bit tougher than I thought.
yeah, this is. Who did the
You can
the
throw.
Wizards have?
You can throw. Oh, you know what? Alec Burks was supposed to be on the Thunder, but then he when we trade away Paul George, they let him go somewhere else. But he was on the Warriors too. That was almost a really good one.
Do you think Carmelo is going to work for this one?
No, I don't think there's any way.
Ah, I remember that Tuck was going to get a Melo Hawks jersey.
Dude, that would have been legendary. He's the Hawks legend. That never happened.
Yeah.
Any old Supersonics guys we can think of? Like,
Detlef
Green?
Schrempf.
Didn't Jeff Green play for the
Oh
Supersonics?
yeah,
Yeah, he was drafted by the
he was a
Supersonics.
rookie then, right? Bang, Rankle, they're on fire.
Holy fuck, Frank. Warriors, Wizards. There's got to be something there. I don't think Jordan Poole would work, but
All right, Wizards
Wow.
rookie. I think there's only like three. There's John Wall, Bradley Beal, and did Rui get it?
Oh, do you think Rui would be the least out of all those guys?
Probably
Okay.
those three.
He'd have to be. I was gonna think like an old guy like Elvin Hayes or like, someone like that.
There we go.
Yep. True. Did Dwayne Bembry play on the Thunder?
Dude, I have no idea.
I want to get Bembry in there somehow. Who's that? Wizards big men.
Did Thomas Bryant play anywhere else?
Nuggets, Lakers. I don't think so.
Did Dwayne Dedman play on the Bulls?
Dwayne Dedman. Is he on the Magic
Hawks,
now?
Bulls.
Wait, Otto Porter, Wizards Warriors.
Oh
Oh,
yeah. Otto. That's
Do you
Pat's
think that's
guy.
more rare for who do people know him more for? The Wizards or the Bulls?
I
It
put him as
probably-
Wizards because isn't he on the Bulls? I don't know.
He was on the
'Cause I
Bulls
just remember that
recently.
Shaqtin' Fool clip. Yeah, I just remember that Shaqtin' Fool clip of him like falling asleep on the Bulls and someone went right past him. He was just standing there like an idiot. Bulls Warriors. Nico Mannion didn't play on the Bulls, right?
Oh, dude, I don't know. Dude, this one's kind of tough.
Yeah. There's got to be some absolute random that played on the Wizards and the Hawks.
Lou Will. Lou Will play on the Thunder?
No.
I know Ish Smith played, I think, for both these teams. Hawks.
Yeah,
and,
you could
definitely
throw
play for
Ish
Wizards.
in one of them.
Yeah. Nope, I guess not.
Oh, I got one for I don't know if this would be I don't think people know this. Thunder and Warriors, Nate Robinson.
That's good.
There you go.
We'll take that.
Solid. Did Shelvin Mack suit up in Chicago?
Oh,
Sounds like
You guys remember Shelvin Mack? Zone 6,
yeah.
they used to call him.
No, dude, don't say that.
What do you mean?
You think Schroeder on Hawks Thunder is too obvious?
Maybe. Can you think of a better one for that, Truitt? Thunder?
I'll think.
I was thinking Danilo, but I think that's too obvious too.
Yeah. That's a good guess though.
did Alfonso McKinney play for the Warriors?
Oh yeah, McKay. Yeah. He was on the he did. I think a rank. Wow, they got him in a Lakers jersey. That's pretty crazy.
That's weird. I knew him as the Bulls guy.
He was on he was like with I just remember McKinney, Ian Clark, and Patrick McCaw as like the young guys on that Kevin Durant team. It's
Patrick
just like
McCaw. Okay, now we got Hawks.
dude, Patrick was no, I don't think Patrick McCaw was on the Wizards. I don't know why I'm just thinking about him in every jersey.
Do you think Mike Muscala would be a good one for this one?
Ooh, that's not
Thunder.
bad.
That's not a bad one. That's not a bad one.
Try. Okay. 8.
Oh, Corver's Hawks, Bulls, but that's probably too easy.
Yeah.
Jamal
Damari.
Crawford.
I think Jamal would be obvious.
No, I don't think so actually.
But this one, did he played on the Bulls? I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Right?
What about that guy, Adrian Payne? You guys
Who?
remember him, that big center? Did Mike Scott play on the Wizards? You guys remember
Dude,
that 60-win Hawks team?
Yeah, that was a good team. They had 4 All-Stars.
Oh, bang.
My God,
That's
Liam.
not bad.
What did we
not
get last time? I
bad.
feel like we got below 50 last time too.
Yeah,
That's good.
we got 89% last time. But
Alright,
that's
this isn't bad.
rank.
That's
You
because
had
Rank went God mode and had like the sub 1%.
yeah, Shane Larkin.
We had a 42 rarity score last time, so 47 is not bad.
No. Good work, fellas. Mike Scott, legend. Good stuff. We got some special birthdays that I want to
Serum.
let you guys in on. We got a lot.
Let's go.
Shout out to Freddie Freeman. You know,
Wow.
he's in the
He's
MVP race.
playing right now, actually. He actually just scored a run.
Yeah. Wow. Happy birthday, man. Mets legend Luis Castillo. Happy birthday to you. He didn't deserve a happy birthday. Why did I say that? So if you want to know anything about Luis Castillo, just look up Luis Castillo, Mets, Yankees, and that's all you need to know. That's basically his career summarized. In basketball, we got a couple guys. Truett, your boy, Zaire Williams.
Hey,
Happy birthday. Yeah.
Very nice.
Happy birthday, Ish Wainwright, Big Fatty on the Suns.
Suns
And
go.
then Big China. Happy birthday to Yao Ming.
Wow. How old? Does it say?
Yao is turning 43 today. He's a youngin.
Crazy.
And
Yeah, that is actually really crazy.
he retired early. You know,
Poor guy.
had to.
Injuries.
Shout out to Vernon Maxwell. I believe Rockets legend, I believe. I know he's in a couple 2Ks. And let's see. We got some football. I don't know any of these guys. Oh, Jerome Ford, the backup to Nick Chubb. I know you. Happy birthday. He was stealing my fantasy points. So I kind of not a happy birthday then. Anybody
Big
else we
fuck you
got?
to him.
You could say that. Yeah. Fuck you. In soccer, we have nobody that I know. Not a single dude. Yeah, that's all we got. Happy birthday, all those guys. Happy birthday to Ish. Second best Ish to ever play in the NBA.
Facts. Never disrespect Ish the Dish.
Is that what they called him?
Ish the Dish. Ish Smith,
Dude,
master of the dish, baby. No, that's not what they call him. It's just, I knew a guy in high school who made a SoundCloud rap that was just basically like, it was just, the chorus was like, Ish, master of the dish. Talking about Ish Smith. I've tried to find it since graduating high school, and I think it's taken down, but it was a great song.
Yeah, if Ish Smith and Shelvin Mack ever teamed up, man, sewing six in the dish, that would have been championship contending.
All right, thank you everybody for watching Fun in the Locker Room. We appreciate you coming out for this NFL Week 1 recap. We'll be back next week with Week 2. We'll see if any of our hot takes or overreactions continue throughout the next week. As always, Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern.